There's typically two reasons why people want to replace their existing window tint. Either A, they think it's not dark enough, or B, they're having issues with their existing window tint. It's either bubbling or it's difficult to see out of. I'm going to show you today two examples of removing and replacing window tint. One extreme example that's bubbling, and another one that is having optical clarity issues and coloring issues over the last couple years. When I show you the process of removing the window tint on these examples, you're going to understand why it costs so much more in the long run to get cheaper window tint that's going to fail after a couple years. What you see here is a common but extreme example of bubbling window tint. You probably see this all the time driving around Texas. So this bubbling window tint indicates that the cheap window tint that was on this window initially, the adhesive failed, and so you're getting those bubbles where the adhesive failed. Now you would think if the adhesive is failing, that means the window tint should come off nice and easy. But the reality is it's probably going to take half a day to get this window off safely. What happens is this window tint is so far gone that when we remove the window tint, it's probably going to come off in little pieces and little strips. And then it's going to leave behind what looks to be clear. This looks to be semi-clear, but really there is adhesive on the window that needs to be removed with adhesive remover. Back windows and front windshields are the hardest to remove because of these tighter areas and electronics, and on the back window we have issues with defrosters. Now, in some cases we can pull off cheap tint, and if the cheap tint may pull this defroster line. These defroster lines are generally really weak defroster lines, especially on Teslas. And if one piece of any of this defroster line is generally broken, it's like one thing, it's like a string of Christmas lights, they'll all go out. Your tint is not supposed to be this color. At a certain point, this becomes a safety hazard, trying to see out your back window. So even with steam, you notice we're steaming this and it's coming off in layers. That's because the adhesive is really poor. And something that if you've ever removed tint before, you would be able to smell this awful smell here in the shop. But the whole shop is going to stink now because of this. But then all of this leftover adhesive needs to be scraped off. And so this is one of the reasons why tint removal costs so much money, and why buying good quality tint from the beginning actually saves you money in the long run.